Hello students, in this video we'll continue our discussion on pointer in C programming language. Now the next thing that we are going to discuss is how the pointer increments and what is the scale factor. Okay, so for that we'll understand one example, right? So here there are variables, integer kind of variables I and A, and there is a pointer variable P, right, in which we have stored the address of the variable A, right? So we can say that P is pointing to A, right? Now here the value is given A is equal to 7, right? So we have declared a variable, we have assigned the address of that variable to some pointer variable, and then we have assigned a particular value to this variable A. Okay, now in this first printf we are going to print the value of address A using the address of operator and the variable P, right? P is ultimately pointing to A, so P is also containing the address of A, right? So when you are trying to print the address of A using these two methods, answer will be same, because address of A is this 6356724, and that address we have stored in the P variable, pointer variable. So the contents of the pointer variables are also the same as P. Okay. Now the next printf, if we want to print the value of A, right? So there are two methods. If you're writing A, then also you can print the value of A variable, or if you write star P using this indirection or dereferencing operator, right? So it will print the value stored at the address in the P. So in the P there is 6356724. This is the address stored in the P variable, right? And at that location the value of A is stored, right? So when you try to print the value of variable A using the pointer variable using star P, the value of A will be printed 7. Okay. Now here in the next statements we have taken one for loop, right, which executes from 1 to 3, means 3 times this loop will be executed. Okay. And here we have executed one statement, that is P plus plus, means we are trying to increment the pointer by 1. Okay, now see, initially the value of P is this 6356724. Okay, now when we increment this P plus plus, it would not be 6356725. Remember this, right? Now we'll see that what is the value. If it is not incremented by 1 exactly, then what is the value after incrementing the P by 1? Okay, now here in the next printf after P plus plus, we have tried to print the address of A using this address of operator and then value of P, okay, using the simple P pointer variable, right? Now you can see the output. Address of A is 6356724, same as this, right? Variable's address is same, but the value of P is now this 6356728. This is the new value of P. Okay, so we have incremented the P by 1 only, but after that increment, the new value of pointer variable is this. It is incremented by 4, right? Because in the system I am executing this program on, in this system the integer is taking 4 byte. Okay, so that's why the P is incremented by 4, right? Why it is incremented by 4 only? Because P is containing the address of some integer variable, right? And that's why pointer variable will incremented by the length of the data type that it points to. If the P is containing the address of some character variable, it will be incremented by 1 exactly. Okay, if it is pointing to some float variable, it will be incremented by 4, like this. Okay, so here P plus plus will cause the pointer P to point to the next value of its type, means if it is an integer, it is pointing to the next integer. So obviously next integer will be after the 4 bytes, right? So when we increment a pointer, its value is increased by the length of the data type that it points to, and that length is considered as the scale factor. Okay, now we have seen that after P plus plus, the new value of this P is 6356728. Okay, now here in the next printf statement, the value stored at percentage u is percentage d. Means at the place of percentage u we have to print the value of p, and at the place of percentage d we have to print the value of star p, means the value stored at this address. Okay, so we'll see the output. Value stored at this 6356728 is this. So this is any value. It has no relation with the A, because the address of A is still this 6356724, right? Now P plus plus, after P plus plus the value is incremented of P, right? So now it is pointing to the location, right? And we don't know that which value is stored at that location. Okay, so when we are performing the first iteration, right, when we are performing the first iteration, this would be the output. Address of A would be same, new value of P will be by adding the 4 bytes, right, and the value stored at the new location will be anything, right? We cannot assume that what it can be, right? After that, in the second iteration, now in the second iteration, what is the output? P plus plus will be executed again. So now the new value of P is this 6356732 incremented by 4, right? But the address of A is same. So when we are writing star P, we cannot get the value of A because P is not pointing to A now. Okay, so here you can see that value stored at this new location is anything, right? And in the third iteration also, the pointer value will be incremented by 4, 6356736, right? Address of A will remain same, right? And the value stored at the new location would be any value. Okay, so this is how pointer increments. When you are writing P plus plus, means you want to increment the pointer by 1, right? But it will always be incremented by the data type size that it points to. If it is pointing to integer, 1 P plus plus will make the pointer incremented by 4. Okay, if the P is pointing to character, it will be incremented by 1 like this. Okay. Now we'll see the another example. Here integer variable and integer pointer, and here in the pointer we are storing the address of the integer variable, right? So here you can see there are 5 variables of different types, right? I, F, C, L, I, and D, right? The data types are mentioned here: integer, float, character, long integer, and double. Okay, and the pointers are declared. IP is the pointer which is storing to the address of integer variable. FP will store the address of float variable, like this. Okay, and we have also given the value to the pointer variable, like I's address will be stored in IP, F address will be stored in FP, like this. Okay, so initialization has been done here. Now before increment, right, if we print the values of this pointer variables, right, so what it can be, you can see here the output, right? Before increment, if we if we print the values of the pointers, it would be like 6356728. This is the value of IP, FP, CP, right? So these are the values printed here. Okay, now we are incrementing each pointer variable by 1. Okay, we have written IP plus plus FP plus plus, means we are just incrementing it by 1, right? So after 1 increment of the pointer variable, if we see the values of these variables, right, so you can just see here the value of the IP pointer is incremented by 4. The previous value was 6356728, and the next value after incrementing, its new value is 6356716. Okay, now FP is a pointer variable that is containing the address of the float. Okay, so initially it was 708, right, last 3 digits, and after one increment it is 712, so it is also incremented by 4. Now CP is a pointer variable that is containing the address of the character variable. Okay, so initially the value is 707, and after one increment it is 708. That means it is incremented by 1 because the size of the character is 1 byte. LIP is a long integer. Initially the value is 700, and after one increment it is 704. Okay, and DP is a double pointer, so initially it is 688 and after it is 696, so it is incremented by 8. So each pointer variable, after one increment, it is incremented by the size of the data type that it points to. Okay. Okay, now next important point is pointer and arrays, right? We know that the array element, sorry, the array name is always containing the address of the first element, right? So array name itself is an address, right? So we will see that how we can use the arrays and pointers together, right? So when an array is declared, the compiler allocates a base address and a sufficient amount of storage to contain all the elements of the array in contiguous memory locations, right? Now, what is the base address? That is already discussed in the previous videos also, that base address is the location of the first element, right? Index 0 element. So if your array is like integer A10, right? This is the declaration of the array, right? So the array name always contains the address of first element A of 0. Okay. Now we'll understand this concept using one example, right? And here we have to assume that integer is taking 4 bytes. Okay. So now here we have declared one array A of 5 size and we have also given the values at the declaration time. So array is initialized. Okay, and then we have taken one pointer variable p, right? Now if I want to assign the address of this array to this pointer variable p, I need to write this statement, p is equal to a, right? Because a is containing the address of the first element, so that address will stored in the p variable pointer. Okay, now the same statement or the same task can be executed using this statement also, p is equal to address of a of 0, right? So you can write any of the statement to assign the address to the address of the array to the pointer variable. Okay, now we'll see that what are the outputs, right, for different printf statements. If you want to print the address of a of 0, right, and you are writing address of a of 0, so you can see here the output is 6356712. Okay, and if you want to print the value of a of 0 using p variable, pointer variable, right? So if you are printing p, value of p, then it would be same as the previous output, right? Because this p and address of a of 0 both are same because of this assignment. Okay, now if you want to store the if you want to print the value of a, right? So a is also containing the address of the first element, right? So the output of that is also same. Okay, so the first element's address of the array can be printed using the address of a of 0. You can use the pointer variable or you can use the array name also. But here important thing is what, array name is a constant pointer to the first element of the array, right? So you cannot perform a plus plus or any other statement that may change the value of array name a, right? This is not possible. If you have written p is equal to a like this statement, right, then you can increment the pointer variable like p plus plus, right, because it is not a constant. But array name is a constant, right? It always stores the address of the first element only. Okay, now next to printf statements. Now if we want to execute the values of the uh, array elements using the pointer, right? So if we write star p, right, so p is containing the address of the first element of the array, right? So when you are writing star p, it will print the value of the first element 11. Okay, so we have accessed the first value of array element using the pointer variable, right? Same way, a is also containing the address of the first element. So when you are writing star a, you will get the same output, the first element of the array. Okay, and if you print, simply if you want to print the array element value, you can write like a of 0, right? So if you do this, right, then also the value is 11. Okay, see this percentage u is for the unsigned integer, so you can use the percentage d here. right? Now when the element of the first the address of the first element is this, right? So how the addresses are assigned to different elements of the array, right? So these are the element names a of 0, a1, a2, like this, right? And we had already discussed that p is also a variable, right? So here the memory location will be reserved to store the value of p also. Okay, and these are the addresses of the different elements. Okay, so first element's address is this 712, right? So the next element's address would be 716, because here we have assumed that integer is taking 4 bytes. Okay, so this contiguous allocation will be done for all the array elements. Okay, and suppose the for the pointer variable p, this address is given 6356732. This is assumption. We have not printed the value of p, so we cannot be sure that which address will be allocated to p. Okay, but yes, the value of p would be this address of the first element of the array 6356712. Okay, so these are the addresses, these are the element names, and these are the values of the different variables. Okay, now another example here, right? Same array has been declared of y size, values are given, then a pointer variable is declared, and we have assigned the address of the first element to the p, right? And then we are printing the value of p and a of 0, right? So the p 6356712, because it is containing the address of the first element, and same way address of a of 0 is also giving you the same address. Okay, now we are incrementing the pointer variable p plus plus. Okay, so we had already discussed in the previous slides that p or pointer variable always incremented by the size of the data type that it points to. So p is pointing to integer, right? So this p plus plus will be incremented by 4. Okay, so after one increment, right, if you print the value of this pointer variable, right, then it would be 6356716, right? It is incremented by 4. Okay, now if you access the value through this p variable, right, star p, so now it will print the next value of the array. This is 12, right? Because initially p was pointing to the first element, but after incrementing it by 1, it will point to the next element of the array. Okay, and same way if you want to access the same value using the simple a of 1, then also it will give you the 12. Okay, so there are different ways to access the array elements. Okay, but here this statement, we have incremented p, right? But when you are printing the value of star a, right? So as we had discussed that a always contains the address of the first element. It is a constant pointer. Okay, so star a will always give you the value of the first element 11. You cannot perform a plus plus or any kind of statement that change the value of a. Okay. Okay, so now we'll see that how we can access the individual elements of the array using the pointers. Okay, so same example has been taken here. We have to take one array of 5 size, then we have initialized certain values to the array elements, right? Then one pointer has been declared, right? And then after we are assigning the address of the first element of the array to the pointer variable, right? So now we can say that p is pointing to the array a, right? Now, when we want to print the values of the array elements, generally we are using this format, right? We can write here %d, and at the place of this %d, we have to print the value of a of I, right? For that the value of I would be from 0 to 4. These values will be the indices of the array elements. Okay, so when you are printing the array elements using this for loop, you can have this kind of output: a of 0, that would be 11, then 12, right? And before printing the actual value, we are just printing message here that value of a %d. So at the place of %d, we have to print the value of I. So value of a of 0 for the first iteration is 11. Then in the next iteration I is equal to 1. So value of a of 1 would be 12, like this. Okay, so this is the method that we were using to print the array elements, right? Now how we can use the pointers to access these elements, right? So we know that the address of the first element is stored in this p variable. So p is pointing to right now the first element of the array a of 0, right? So in the p there is an address of the a of 0. Okay, so when we are writing star p, right, so we get the value 11, the value of the first element. Okay, so here we have used the same for loop and we are printing the value of the array elements using the pointer variable p. So for this 5 iterations, you can see here the output is only 11. Okay, because in the p there is an address of the first element, right? So p is containing the address of a of 0. We have not updated the value of p, right, in the iterations. So it will always give you the value of the a of 0 only. Okay, so when I is equal to 0 and you are printing the value which is pointed by the p, right, that means a of 0, right? So after printing that, the p should point to the next address, right, so that we can get the next value of the array. Okay, so this is the program for that. What we need to do actually here, for the first iteration value of I will be printed here, right? So value of a of 0, this would be the output. Okay, now after printing the value of a of 0 11, in the next iteration what we need to do, we have to execute the statement p plus plus, right? So p is a pointer variable and we are incrementing it by 1. So it will be incremented based on the size of the type of the array. Okay, so the type of the array is integer. So when you are writing p plus plus, it will be incremented by 4 and now it will point to the next element of the array. Okay, so the next time when I is equal to 1 and this statement would be executed, so the value of I would be 1, a of 1, right, and the star p will print the next value of the array, right, because before performing the next iteration we have incremented the value of pointer variable p. Okay, so using this kind of for loop you can access the value of the array. Now here is some information to access the array elements, right? When you are writing p plus I, right, where p is the pointer and it is pointing to some array, suppose, right? So when you are writing p plus I, so this particular format will give the address of a of I, right? So that means this p plus I is equivalent to address of a of I. Okay, this will give you the address. Like if you are writing p plus 0, right, that is equivalent to p, right, because p is pointing to the first element of the array initially, right? So it will give you the address of the a of 0. Now when you are writing p plus 1, okay, so actually you are not updating the value of p here, right, but simply you are writing p plus 1. So this equation or this statement will give you the address of a of 1. Okay, when you write p plus 2, it will give you the address of a of 2, right? So in this way you can access the addresses of the array elements, right? Now addresses can be given, we can get using this p plus I, but when you are using indirection operator with this equation, it will give you the value of a of I. Okay, so star p plus I will give you the value of the array element ai. Okay, so when you are writing star p0, that means you are trying to access the value of the first element of the array, so that will be 11, right? So star p or star p plus 0 will give you the value of the first element. Okay, when you are writing star p plus 1, it will give you the value of a of 1, that is 12. Okay, so like this. So remember this, p plus I will give you the address of a of I, right? And p plus I with the indirection operator or dereferencing operator, it will give you the value of a of I. Okay. Now we'll see the same program, right? But here we'll print the array elements using this equation. Okay, this is the one way of printing the array elements that we all know, right? So this would be the output, right? But when you want to print the array element using pointers, so you can do what? You can write here star p plus I, right? Where the value of I would be from 0 to 4. So when I is equal to 0, p plus 0, that means you are printing the first element of the array a of 0. Okay, when I is equal to 1, right, then this equation is star p plus 1. That means you want the value of a of 1 because p is pointing to array a. Okay, so when you are printing the array elements using this format, the value of a of 1 would be 12. This output would be printed. Okay, so this is how you can uh, print the array elements also. Okay, so there are three ways we have learned. First is the traditional way that we are using to print the array elements, this one. Okay, another way is to just print the value of the address pointed by p, right? And after printing the value, you can increment the pointer variable, right? But this statement will change the value of pointer variable because this is equivalent to p plus 1. Okay, so p will be changed, right? And the third technique is this one, right, where you have to write star p plus I, and we have not used any assignment operator, right? So that the value of p will not be changed, right? You are just simply using the pointer variable to print the array element values. Okay. Okay, now suppose we want to find the address of a particular element in a one-dimensional array, right? We know that whenever the array has been declared, right, base address will be allocated and the contiguous memory allocation would happen for all the elements of the array. Okay, so if we know the base address and the type of the array, then we can easily calculate the address of any element. Okay, so here the example is given, 5 size of array integer type is taken and these are the values, right? So these are the element names A0 to A4, these are the values, okay, and these are the addresses. Okay, so obviously here 6356712, this is the base address because from this location memory has been allocated to the array. Okay, now here one pointer variable has been declared of integer, that means ki p is having the address of some integer variable. Okay, and star p is equal to a, here this star p is for the declaration, remember this. Okay, so in star p is equal to a, that means ki you are making the pointer p to point to the array a. Okay, so p is itself a variable, so memory will be allocated for that also, right? So the address of the p is this 6356732 and the value of this p is the address of a of 0, right? So that is 6356712. Okay, now here base address is this 6356712, address of a of 0, right? And it should be known, right, to calculate the other elements addresses. Okay, now suppose we want to find out the address of this particular element, right? So what we need to do for that, first we need to take the base address, right? That from this address the array memory allocation has been started, right? Then after you have to write the index of the element uh, of which you want to find the address, right? So 3 into, now here we have to specify that each array element is taking how many bytes. Okay, so for that the scale factor is required, right? For this machine in which this calculation has been done, right, this machine is taking 4 bytes for the integer, right? So here the base address is this 6356712 plus 3 is the index of the element and 4 is the scale factor of integer. Okay, so when we simplify this equation, then it would be 6356724. right? So here you can see that the address of this A of 3 is 6356724. Okay, so if we generalize this equation from this example, so address of array element A of I is base address plus the index, so I, into scale factor of the data type of an array, right? If the integer is taking 2 byte, you can write here 2. If the data type of the array is float, then you can write here 4, and if it is integer, character, then you can write here 1. Okay, now we'll see one example using the pointers and array. The aim of this program is to search whether a roll number is enrolled for the AWS Academy or not, right? So in the university, there are different academies going on, and the interested student can register in that academy. So as a input, we have the list of roll numbers of those students who are enrolled for this AWS Academy, right? And also we have to enter the roll number that we want to search from that list, right? Now in which kind of the which kind of output is required. So here we will print the message if roll number is not in the list, right? So we can print any appropriate message that this particular roll number has not been registered for this academy or anything, right? Or if the roll number is in the list, right, then we have to return the memory location and index of the roll number in an array, right, if the roll number is in the list. So now we'll see the implementation of this program. Okay, so here one array has been taken to store the roll numbers, right? So AWS array has been taken of 20 size. So here 20 indicates what? That maximum 20 students can enroll for this academy. Okay, then after this p pointer variable has been taken, and then after we have initialized it, p is equal to AWS, right? So AWS of 0, so that address is stored in this p variable. Now here we have declare the size 20, but you might, or any user may want this program to execute for some lesser number of input, like 5 input or 6 input, right? So that particular value can be entered at runtime using this scanf statement. Okay, so here the message is printed, enter the number of elements that you want. Okay, and then you can use this scanf function and enter the size of the element. Okay, now we have the declarations, right? We know that what we have to do in this program, right? So we have declared the array and we have declared the pointer in which we can store all the information, but what are the actual data? So what is the actual input? So for that we have to take the values in this AWS array. Okay, so for taking the input values from the user, we have to use the scanf function. Okay, and as we had discussed in the previous slides, that if we write p plus I, that means we can access the A of I. Okay, but here our array name is AWS, so we can see here p plus I will give you the address of AWS I. Okay, and we have not one element to enter, we have to enter the elements right, according to the value of this size, right? So here the for loop has been taken, I is equal to 0, I less than size, and the scanf statement will be executed up to the number stored in the size. Okay, and before scanning the value, we have to print the message that enter the value of element %t. Okay, so this particular for loop is used to print the, to enter the value at runtime from the user, and those value will be stored in the AWS array but using the pointer. We have not used array name here, we have used the pointer. Okay, so our one input is ready. By the if we execute this for loop, then we will have a list of the numbers which are enrolled for the AWS Academy. Okay, now the next input is what? We have to enter the roll number that we want to search from this list. Okay, so here this scanf is used to enter the roll number that we want to search. Okay, and now this is the for loop for input the values. This particular for loop is for input the roll number, and now this for loop is used to print the array element. That means this for loop will print all the roll numbers which are enrolled for the AWS Academy. Okay, so same for loop is required, I is equal to 0, I less than size, right? But when we want into the value of the array, we have to use this format star p plus I. That is already discussed in these slides, previous slides, that p plus I will give you the address and star p plus I will give you the value. Okay, and after that, see here what we had done in the previous implementation. We have taken the input values, right, and we have printed the list as it is. Okay, but now we have to write the searching logic, that how we actually perform the searching operation, whether a particular roll number is in the list or not. Okay, so suppose we have these values 12, 23, 26. These are the roll numbers that are enrolled for the AWS Academy, right? Now this elements addresses are 200, 204 if integer is taking 4 bytes, right? So AWS of 0 is stored in 200 location, then AWS 1 will stored in 204 location, like this. Okay, so these are the element values, these are the element names, and these are the element addresses. All right, now when we are writing p is equal to AWS, right, where p is a pointer variable, so that means that p has been allocated the address of the first element of the array, so p is equal to 200, right? Now using the p, if I write simple p, then obviously it will give you the address 200, right? But when you write star p, it will give you the value of the value at the address 200, right? So it will give you 12. Okay, so this is how you can access the first element. But when you want to access the next element of the array, you have to increment the pointer by 1. Okay, or you have to write p plus 1 if you want to access AWS 1 element. So these things we have discussed. So this p plus 1 star, this will give you AWS 1. Okay, now when we want to apply the searching logic, so what we need to do, we have one roll number, right, and we need to check whether that roll number is there in the list or not. Okay, so we have to take the first value 12 and we have to compare it with the roll number, right? So the value of the roll number variable and this array element, if they are same, right, then we can say that the particular roll number is in the list, right? And such that we have to compare this roll number value with the first element, second element, third element, like this. Okay, and whenever we found a match, right, we can print that the required element is in the list, right? Otherwise it is not in the list. Okay, so here we need to compare to all the elements of the array, right? So here we need to take a for loop, I is equal to 0, I less than size. Okay, now we need to compare the values, so this value and the value stored in the roll number variable. Okay, so roll numbers variable can simply be derived using the variable name roll number, but here array elements can be accessed using this star p plus I. Okay, so when I is equal to 0, p plus 0 means it will give you the first value 12. Okay, when I is equal to 1, then the equation would be like p plus 1 star. That means it will give you the value of AWS 1, that means 23. Okay, so we have to compare, or we have to write this if condition in the for loop. Okay, now what if we found the match? Okay, at any point of in any iteration, if we found this match, if this condition is true, right, that means we have found the element. So we can write the message like %d, so at this place we'll print the roll number, that this roll number is found at index %d. So obviously whenever this condition is true, the value of I at that time would be the index of that element. So at this percentage d we have to print the value of I. Okay, and the address at which the value is found, right? So that is stored in this p plus I, right? So we can print that address here. So this message would be printed if the element is found, right? Now suppose at the second at the second index we have found the element. Suppose roll number value is 26 and we have found the element, right? So there is no need to check in the remaining part of the list. Okay, so for that what has been done here, there is one value, variable f, right? In the main it is initialized with 0. Okay, now if we found the match, then what we'll do, we'll just change the value of f to 1 and we'll use the break statement. So break statement will make the will complete the will just break the iterations. Now the remaining for loop iteration would not happen, right? It will come out of the for loop. Okay, so after executing the break, this for loop will be terminated. Okay, so once we found a match, we have to change the value of f variable and we have to break from the loop. Okay, now if after the for loop, if the value is 0, value of f is 0 only, right? That means that it never changes to 1. And when it doesn't change to 1, when there is no match. After the completion of all the iterations, if the value of f is not changing, that means we have not found the match. Okay, so if the value of f is 0 only after completion of this for loop, that means that particular element that is stored in this roll number is not found in the list. Okay, okay, so this is the complete program, right? The array declaration, pointer declaration, and the f variable which is initialized to 0. Then after pointer initialization with the address of the first element of the array. Okay, this input is for the this for loop is for the input. Then here we have to enter the roll number. This for loop is for printing all the array elements, right? So here you can see that first we have to enter the size, right, based on the statement, right? Then we have to enter the numbers, the roll numbers which are enrolled for the AWS Academy. Okay, so for this based on this for loop, this will be the impact in the output. Then after you have to enter the roll number, so enter roll number, so that is 65 we have entered. Okay, and this particular for loop is for printing the elements. So here you can see that all the elements are printed in a particular format, element percentage %d, and then we have used the pointer to print the array elements. Okay, now this is the searching logic that we had discussed, right? Now after this, here we can see the input is 45, 12, 13, 65 and 47, right? And the number that we want to search is 65. So when I execute this program for this input, right, the output would be what? That 65 is found at index 3. Here you can see, right? And the address is 635656. Okay, so this is the address which is allocated for the element 3. Okay, so this is the program. Now in the next the program is same, right? But here we have given the input as 7, the number that we want to search is 70. Okay, so obviously 70 is not in the list, so the output would be what? That 70 is not found in the list, so this particular statement will be printed. Okay, because when you want to search for the 70, right, this if condition will never be true, f will never have the value 1, so f will remain 0, and so that this particular message will be printed, right? So this is how you can access the array elements using the pointer variables. Thank you.